Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. I will come into today's discussion on the disturbing trend of anti-Palestinian sentiment and corporate complicity. Now, the recent elections have unleashed a torrent of tension, drama and division, with some individuals shockingly abandoning their support for Palestine. Now, we've seen videos of people proclaiming their indifference to Palestinian struggles, citing the actions of some Arab Americans and Muslim Americans during the election as justification. But let's be clear here, this isn't about partisan politics, it's about human lives. As one brother so eloquently put it, you sound stupid, you're demonstrating that you never had any empathy, you never had any critical thinking skills. Meanwhile, some netizens are proudly patronizing companies like McDonald's and Starbucks despite their significant donations to Trump's re-election campaign. Now, these corporations have been targeted by protests and boycotts due to their support for Israel, resulting in significant financial losses. And going back to Starbucks or McDonald's right now is not the answer. So with that said, let's check out these videos. I will be right back. And when I do, I share my 2 cents on this.
To the black people who are making videos professing that they no longer support Palestine, that they could care less now, that they're going back to Starbucks because some Arab Americans, some Muslim Americans decided to either abstain from voting for Kamala, voted third party, or overtly supported Donald Trump. And you're now taking that, right, and placing it on a Palestinian child who has been turned into ash, or a Palestinian woman or man who has been murdered. You sound stupid, right? You're simply demonstrating that you never had any empathy, you never had any critical thinking skills, and you never really had any common sense. Because what you're doing would essentially be like somebody saying, well, you know, this one time I was robbed by a black guy in New York, and therefore I don't really care about black lives globally. I don't care about black lives in this country. I don't care about black lives in the Congo. I don't care about black lives in Sudan. I don't care about black lives in Compton because this one time in 1982, one singular black person did something to me or whatever. You have now turned into a monolithic thing based on what some Americans did. And really those Americans did that, you know, they try to make a calculus based on their moral fortitude, and you can agree or disagree, but that still ultimately has nothing to do with the needs of people in Gaza or Lebanon. It is deeply, deeply ignorant. And honestly, it's just white supremacy. Like, what you're demonstrating are principles of selfishness and lack of empathy that are rooted in white supremacy, right? And you're not even doing the same thing for white people. I don't see you showing up in the same ways to be like, oh, we're no longer supporting this and that and the third that white people have and that white people do, when white people are the vast majority of the reason why Kamala Harris did not win, because they are the vast majority of the reason that Donald Trump won, because they are the vast majority of the reason, and people who voted for Donald Trump. Like, make it make sense. You don't make sense. You sound stupid.
Okay, I'm going to keep this short because I know people's attention spans aren't that long, but I don't think DJ Soulchild should have issued an apology. He didn't have to.
I did have to apologize, Duff. I did. And I'll tell you why. The people in Palestine did not do nothing to me. They did nothing to me, but nothing. Nothing. I've been actively helping out a family in Gaza, linking Abao, by the way, for their GoFundMe for like the better part of the year. And that video, that hurts them. And I didn't take the video down because I was pressured by everyone on TikTok. I did it because someone very close to me helped me come to my senses to do so. Just one person, someone I love and care about very dearly. He knows who he is. But yeah, the apology, it wasn't for the people in the pro-Pali movement in the West. It was for the people over there in Palestine. But I do got one thing to say, though, to the people in America, or the people in the pro-Pali movement in America critiquing my apology, especially the black ones. Most of y'all are a bunch of COONs. Most of y'all are cowards. Most of you guys turn a blind eye to anti-blackness and racism from non-black people in the pro-Palestinian movement. That apology wasn't for you. So the fact that you critiquing an apology that wasn't for you in the first place is given very much COON behavior. And apparently and clearly a lot of y'all are new to my platform. I'm a very controversial person. I make a lot of mistakes. Yes, I've made plenty of mistakes in the past 4 years, and I'm going to continue to do so because I'm human. Right? Once a year, I'll do a big mistake, and then people hate me, and all of my friends leave me, and then it happens. It happens. I really meant what I said, though. I don't mind being your villain. I don't mind being your bad guy. I'm not one of them large creators that's going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Nah, I said my bad. I said I'm sorry and kept it moving. Like at this point, if you guys want to still say something, still do something about it or feel in a type of way, if you see me in real life, you could put hands on me. You could run them ones. You could run the fade if you like. If not, shut up. If not, shut up. That apology wasn't for y'all. All these people on the internet critiquing me, but then when I sit here and invite y'all to pull up to a live, you guys are scared to do so. And I'm talking to you black folks that are in the pro-pally movement. Most of you guys are cowards, bro. Y'all uplift white T voices and non-black voices more than y'all own. And I'm supposed to take you seriously? Please.
Edisons are proudly returning to McDonald's and Starbucks in order to spite Palestinian liberation protesters after the election cycle. Some are even going as far to say they're going to look up the prices of oceanfront property in Gaza to purchase. They're proudly espousing these ideas and patronizing these companies, despite both of these companies, alongside with many others, donating large sums of money and resources to Trump's re-election campaign. Stephens.edu has provided the following data on some of the biggest donors to Trump's campaign. And as we dive in there are certainly some very familiar names. So for the food and beverage industry, major corporations like Wendy's, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs, Bubba Gump Shrimp, and Joe's Crab Shack were among donors to Trump's re-election campaign. Their billionaire CEOs made sure to funnel both cash and supplies to see him return to office. And finance, TD Ameritrade, the company that recently got caught in a drug cartel money laundering scandal, was also a prominent donor. And home improvement, companies like Home Depot and U-Haul contributed heavily to Trump's re-election campaign. Beauty companies, including Estee Lauder's Via billionaire heir and chairman Ronald Lauder, were major contributors as well. Estee Lauder's brands are under an umbrella which include DKNY, MAC, Smashbox, Tommy Hilfiger, Michael Kors, and Bobbi Brown Cosmetics. Companies like Revlon and then Chi Hair Care also supported his campaign. Billionaire owners of clothing companies like New Balance and Versace were on the list too, along with owners of various sports franchises, which included WWE, UFC, and multiple NFL football teams. So even businesses like PayPal and Marvel Entertainment chipped in. So it seems a bit strange to me that individuals who are upset about Trump's re-election campaign would go out of their way to support the very billionaires who funded his campaign in the first place, all in an effort to spite 0.6% of third-party voters. It feels illogical and counterproductive, but if helping to fill the pockets of billionaires who supported Trump's return to office makes you feel better about the outcome of the election, well, that's your choice. Between the comments from so-called elders about looking up oceanfront property in Gaza to purchase and people openly planning to conspire with ICE, the same organization that was caught on camera whipping black immigrants, I expect nothing less than this shit. As my friend would say, you can't reason someone out of an opinion or position that they didn't reason themselves into to begin with. So some of us are asking a question. They're doing this, but at what cost? Supporting the very corporations that fuel the re-election of a man whose policies you find harmful isn't just illogical, it's cutting your nose off to spite your face. Lining the pockets of Trump's billionaire backers only strengthens the system people claim that they oppose. So does that really make sense? Or is this misplaced anger making the ruling class more powerful by lining the pockets of Trump's billionaire backers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Okay, so when it comes to Starbucks, have we lost the plot? Have we forgotten the mission? Because y'all are letting what one woman said make you want to go back to Starbucks. That's making me feel like you never wanted to boycott in the first place, honestly. But the reason why I feel like y'all have lost the plot is because, did y'all forget about the children? Did y'all forget about, and if you follow me, if you've been following me for a while, you know on my platform I do not play about babies, no matter the cultural, ethnic background. I don't play about children, okay? They're innocent. Children ain't done nothing to nobody but just exist, okay? And the fact that y'all are so ready to go back to Starbucks because of what one woman said, y'all do realize y'all are being just like the other counterparts who judge an entire group of people based off what one person does or says. Oh my gosh, like, again, I'm not disagreeing that she should not have said what she said, but y'all just completely said, well, F the kids. because of what one woman said. I feel like, I don't know, to me personally, maybe I'm overreacting, I don't know, but me personally, that's weird. That's really weird that y'all are going right back to give y'all money to people who are actively unaliving innocent children because you're upset about what another adult said. I'm sorry, it's just a little weird.
I just know the CIA is somewhere rejoicing right now. You guys saying that you're going to go back to McDonald's and Starbucks just because of the results of an election as a sort of gotcha moment against Palestinians is not the flex that you think it is. There are only 160,000 Palestinians in the whole entire US. Even if all of them went out to vote for Kamala Harris, she still would have lost because she lost by 4 million votes. And it was entirely her fault. People were asking her to show this much sympathy and solidarity for Palestinians, and she couldn't even do that. And then y'all want to say, oh, I hope Trump turns Gaza into a parking lot. Oh, I'm going to be the first one to call ICE on the phone. Like, really and truly, how on earth are you guys different than Trump supporters when you're saying stuff like that? Oh, wait. Nobody's telling you guys not to be angry over the results of the election. Nobody wanted that in power for another 4 years. But the anger is very much so misplaced. Palestine aside, though, for just 1 second, why are we pretending that McDonald's and Starbucks are not the leading causes of gentrification and food droughts in Black communities? It's giving very much so y'all wanted an excuse to go back to McDonald's and Starbucks, and you have your convenient excuse now. And another thing, a lot of people have started to bring up other Black countries like Congo and Sudan and saying that we have to focus on them instead of Palestine. And as a Sudanese woman, I'm here to tell you, don't even bother with that if you're still going to vacation in Dubai. If you have no problem going to Dubai shaking your bum on a yacht, even though we're telling you not to go there, then the activism isn't there to begin with. But by all means, enjoy your flavorless chai tea latte. I hope it was worth selling your soul.
I can only imagine the level of disillusionment that you would feel after such a disappointing election result, and I'm sure that would lead to a broader sense of fatigue and frustration, okay? Like, literally, I live in Australia, okay, and we were all disappointed as well. And I'm sure that frustration would be intensified as a Black American woman because they were the key group that was able to come together to try and stop that man from getting into office. And as I'm sure you guys have seen, there's been a lot of videos about ending their Starbucks boycott because they're putting themselves first and they're like reallocating their energy towards issues which directly affect them. And you know what? I'm not even fully against the idea that solidarity should be transactional. I think a key part of solidarity is mutual support. But your morals shouldn't be conditional and transactional. And a lot of your guys' videos, I'm so sorry, they're showing a gross level of individualism, and it's actually weird to see. And let's be real, the people making these videos boasting about getting their overpriced, gross Starbucks coffee as a way to try and dunk on Palestinians, they never cared, okay? No matter how much they try to pretend that they were doing some Avengers level fighting for the Palestinian movement, they were not. Because that's why they're in the comment sections kikiing, ha-haing with people that are saying, oh, we were never boycotting to begin with, ha, I was there last week, ha. And I know that it's misplaced anger, but damn, you need to take a second and think about what you're saying and place the anger correctly. Because guys, I've seen so many disgusting videos. Like I saw a video of this lady talking about, oh, when Gaza gets turned into a hotel strip with a casino. Do you hear yourselves? Do you know who you sound like? Do you know who said something along those lines? Yeah. And I just don't get why these people are positioning themselves as these really strong previous supporters of the Palestinian cause who have just now been forced to abandon their support. They've been left no other choice. Be so for real. Your praxis didn't go any deeper than refraining from a weekly iced caramel macchiato. If that. Like, stop betraying morals out of anger.
Now, this recent trend of anti-Palestinian sentiment and corporate complicity is alarming. Companies like Starbucks and McDonald's have supported conflicts that have devastated entire communities, enabling war crimes and profiting from suffering. By patronizing these companies or businesses, people are endorsing harmful actions. The human cost is staggering, with thousands of lives lost and countless families shattered. It's important to recognize that companies have a responsibility to respect human rights and avoid complicity in violations. The United Nations emphasizes that companies should not contribute to or benefit from human rights abuses. And recent discussions at the UN Third Committee highlighted the need to address human rights abuses in conflicts, including civilian population transfer, ethnic cleansing, and incitement to hatred. Instead of rewarding harmful businesses like these ones, I feel people should support companies that prioritize social responsibility and human rights. Our choices have consequences, and it's time to use our collective power to create positive change. Just like people did when they boycotted these companies. People sent a message And we saw how these companies lost business. Their business was going down. By sending a message, I mean this. We also how in February, US fast food giant McDonald's announced its first revenue miss in 3 years, citing the Israel and Palestine conflicts in the Middle East as the reason for the company's mixed quarterly sales. In its report for the fourth quarter of 2023, McDonald's announced that global sales rose by 3.4% compared with 8.8% in the preceding quarter, which was the slowest in 3 years. Now, McDonald's reported growth in other regions, but the company's overall projection failed to meet the target due to the conflict in the Middle East. Since October, the U.S. has provided unprecedented support to Israel in the fight against the Hamas organization, and the burger giant is among several U.S. brands that have been targeted by protests and boycott campaigns due to their support for Israel. At least 30,000 people have been unalived in the Israel-Hamas war, which is still ongoing. In October, Hamas invaded Israel in response to the continued Israeli occupation of the Palestinian territories, the blockade of the Gaza Strip, and the expansion of illegal Israeli settlements. Now, we also how direct sales began to significantly decline in the conflict-affected countries when McDonald's announced that its franchise restaurants would give free meals to the Israeli military officers actively involved in the war, and this led to further boycotts and protests against McDonald's. And now, hearing that people want to go back to supporting Starbucks and supporting McDonald's, these companies that were very much active in supporting this war, it's really alarming to see people considering support for companies that were previously boycotted for their involvement in the Israel-Gaza war. These companies have been linked to human rights abuses and that, and by going back to supporting them, individuals are essentially endorsing and enabling these harmful actions. The BDS movement has been working tirelessly to hold these companies accountable for their complicity in Israel's apartheid regime. The movement's efforts have led to significant successes, including some of the companies closing their branches due to BDS pressure. However, this progress is now at risk of being undermined by those who wish to reverse their stance. It's crucial to recognize that these companies have not changed their policies or practices since the boycotts began. They continue to prioritize profits over human rights and dignity. Supporting them now would be a betrayal of the Palestinian people's struggle for freedom and justice. Instead, people should continue to support the BDS movement and its efforts to hold companies accountable for their actions. And people must prioritize human rights and dignity over corporate interests and profits. The Palestinian people's struggle is not just a political issue, it's a human rights imperative. Going back to Starbucks and other boycotted companies is a disturbing trend that undermines the very purpose of the boycott. It reveals that for many, supporting Palestinian rights and opposing corporate complicity in human rights abuses was merely a fleeting fad, not a principled stance. The boycott movement was never about trendiness. It was about sending a clear message that corporations cannot profit from suffering and oppression without consequences. By boycotting, individuals demonstrated their commitment to justice, equality, and human rights. Now, reversing course and returning to these companies sends a damaging message that our values are disposable, that human rights are optional, and that corporate profits trump principle. We must remember that boycotts are not temporary gestures. They are strategic actions aimed at creating lasting change. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do my viewers have to say? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next video as I bring you another interesting video.